Alrighty, I hope this is playing. I'm going to check in a second. Alright, so I'm here. Hopefully it's picking up my voice live. And looking forward to giving you this small talk on the power of meditation. Meditation is essential. Have to give me a little headset drop here. Meditation is essential for everybody, basically, but some people do it, some people don't do it, and it's okay. You have to fit in where you can and use those tools, spiritual tools of technology that you feel comfortable with. And at the same time, you want to feel connected to that. I have, what do you call this? Felt like wearing my hat today. Anyway, this is the power of meditation. I'm Brother Francis. My channel here through Resident Essentials, the group, is called the Wisdom Keys of Brother Francis. And I've talked about meditation before, but I wanted to share just some more insight about it. And it's important that if you've never meditated before, that you take the time out to learn how to meditate. If you are someone who meditates off and on, you should, whenever you can, increase your meditation times so that you can empower yourself to be able to meditate. So it is working. So, one of these things that's very important is, now, when I teach it many years ago, I used to teach it so that there was a particular set way. Now, not everybody can sit in meditation for long periods of time. I've kind of mustered that up over the years, some 40 plus years of doing meditation just about every day. One of the most important parts is to be able to do the meditation not only daily, but to build up your energy throughout your body and the environment that you're in, to make it flourish, make it expand more, is to do it roughly at the same time every day. So if you choose to meditate at night, try to do it, let's say if you chose 8 p.m. as your meditation time, or 7 p.m., then do it at that time and be consistent and do it on a regular schedule. If you choose to, when you get up early in the morning, if you're someone that's an early riser, let's say you get up at 6 and you prepare your day and you're out of the house by 8:30 in the morning, allow yourself at least 20, 30, 40 minutes of meditation to feel yourself being in tune with your environment, with yourself, and other, I would say, pools of energy. We're all energy beings, and our environments are flooded with our energies and with our intentions and with our words and with our thoughts and with our feelings. And so you will find out, if you practice some form of meditation for yourself every day, and then you get beyond the practice point, which means you don't have to tell yourself, I need to sit at a certain time. You will learn to open up the energy fields around you more so that you could resonate and you could radiate your energy. You could put it all the way out. It's like you would be blossoming from the inside out like a beautiful flower. You know, a flower open is closed, and then the more light gets to it, it begins to what, open and blossom. Well, you can begin to blossom internally with this energy of your own that is connected into the earth as well as connected into the heavens and the atmosphere around you. So meditation is something that a tool of personal transformation. This is something that can help you do all the things that you like to do and even more. Now, what are some of the benefits of using meditation every day in your life? One of the things is you become, over time, more peaceful. You start establishing internal calmness. Another thing is the mind you can slow down the thoughts of the mind, so you're not in a state of worry and anxiety all the time. You can begin to alleviate stress out of here and stress out of the body. You can, through meditation, a daily practice of meditation of some sort, you will find that not only do you feel better internally, but you start to see a little more clearly. Things that you didn't notice around you before, you begin to pick up on those other things, and you can actually see those other things more clearly in your view when you begin to meditate on a regular basis. Now, sometimes for somebody who's beginning in it, they might know, well, how long should I sit? Well, the best way when you're a beginner and you're not accustomed to just sitting still or being calm with yourself like that, you might just give yourself a minimum time of about 15 to 20 minutes in the beginning. And then over a period of time from week to week, if that feels comfortable, then you can increase it so that you can get to 30 minutes, and then you get to 45 minutes, and then you get to an hour that feels comfortable. I will tell you, once you really get into the zone of meditation for yourself, sometimes what appears to be just 10, 15, 20 minutes of your time is actually an hour or more. So you can meditate outdoors if you like to do that. Many people like to sit out in their backyard or on their front step, the front porch. They just sit underneath trees with the flowers, or they go to a favorite location like a park and they sit down and they meditate that way. Well, all those things are important. And so sometimes location is a good thing to put into your memory bank. Where can I go where I can meditate? Now, sometimes people, and I know in my beginning stages, I would say, I don't want to be disturbed. I don't want to be sitting down all of a sudden I start, drawing people toward me, or I choose an area that seems to be overly populated. I've meditated in different environments. I remember one time being in New York City, and two of my friends, one of them who used to live on Long Island. But you're an astrologer. I have you have an Aries moon, and I have ascended is Aries, my rising sign. So I had to train myself to be able to sit, to get past impatience and get to patience. So yeah, you start to begin to allow yourself an opportunity. Yes, music does help. Allow yourself an opportunity, and I'm going to talk about that a little later in this talk, that there are various tools that we all can utilize, and it does help. So, we have to get to the point of learning how to sit quietly. There's all kinds. I had the pleasure of being in a meditation hall, a Zen hall, upstate New York, in Monticello, New York. And I was invited with some people that I knew that were giving a yoga retreat, hatha yoga retreat, and they invited me to be their guided meditation person, because the person who was supposed to be there didn't realize that they had booked a whole nother engagement for a whole nother retreat and forgot. And so, they were reminded they had to go to that one, and they canceled out like a week or two. And so I was called up through some friends, elder friends, who were a part of this group, yoga group, Metaphysical Unity Church group, would I come and be their meditation guide, which basically meant I was just going to do the guided meditation that Saturday evening when we arrived at about 4 p.m. in the afternoon on a Friday. But we were at a Zen hall, so we had the opportunity to sit with the Zen monks in their Zen hall. And that was a wonderful experience to sit with them on a Saturday morning, midday morning or afternoon, early afternoon. And they have something that they call the clapper. And the clapper is nothing more than two flat sticks tied by a rope and rubber bands. And what it was used for was the Zen master or a senior student, if they saw you falling asleep in your meditation, they would wake you up by tapping your pressure points in the middle of your shoulders. It would give you a slight sting, but that wasn't the purpose. It's the clapping in of the two flat sticks that you would hear in your ear. And it would be enough to awaken you without causing you to come all the way out of your meditation. So that was a fun thing because it happened to me. I almost nodded out and it got pow pow, real fast. You feel the sting the first time, but you don't really feel it the second time because you're hearing that double clapping sound. So, but in Zen meditation, Buddhist meditation, Confucius type of meditation, all of those meditations require people sitting in silence. And I was thinking today some of the reasons why they were sitting in silence. Now I said, meditation helps you have internal calmness. It calms the mind from worry and anxiety, but it opens you up into whole new vistas, metaphysically and spiritually for yourself. So when they sat quietly like that in meditation, as beginners by themselves, in small groups, and then later in humongous large groups with adults and children, they were able to impact their environment outside the monastery. And it was known that high crime became low crime because the monks of all ages were meditating around the clock. Now, so some of the things that you do acquire over a period of time, not only just physical, overcoming the physical side of the body, but you, in your spiritual quest for spirituality and sagacity, you are conquering the ego over time. You're fighting and fending against your personal ego. And you gain humility. You gain compassion. You gain more unconditional love, not only for yourself, but humanity. Your brotherhood and sisterhood. So you begin to materialize that into your life, because people who do practice that form of meditation quietly that way, they are getting quieter internally and quieting the mind, but they're also linking up from inside, which now, one of the terms that people use a lot today is mindfulness. Well, it was a big word back then. It wasn't tutored as being the all word to talk about. But you become mindful means you just become aware. You become aware of your true self within your physical form. You become aware of your true self inside your physical form, inside the world that you exist in, inside the earthly world or earthly realm. And so over a period of time, period of moments, months become years, that the monks who practice in this manner eventually would conquer their personal ego. And the next thing that evolves out of that is begin to connect with the higher sources or resources of their own divinity that connects them into the universe and all the spiritual strata beyond themselves. So people at this point, they realize they are one with their environment. And I always talk about, I used to have a book, and it was called Zen Koans, Koans. And koans, a koan, is actually a story that has multiple layers of truth in it. And so one of the stories in this book was about a young Buddhist Zen student, disciple meaning dedicated student to the teachings. He was wrestling, he said, with a spider. In his meditation, the spider would come up, creep up on him, and attack him. And he said the spider was huge, humongous, and he just couldn't understand why was he being attacked by a spider during his meditation. So he started going to the Zen, one of the Zen hall masters, their office, their room. And he would rush in and he says, "Master, I'm having a most difficult time trying to quiet my mind and try to be quiet and try to take in these teachings of our Zen, ancient Zen masters, or what they say, what this meditation is, or this form of things that we're doing to become better, so that when we go out into the world, we become these examples. All of us come, we are examples to the world that people would hope to strive to become like us in principle." And so the Zen master said, "Well, what is your issue?" And he says, "I keep getting attacked by a spider, a humongous spider. You know, I'm wrestling with the spider all the time, Zen master, all the time. And he's always, stinging me, and I'm fearful, and I don't know what to do. I don't know how to protect myself from this huge spider." The Zen master looked around his office, all of his leather books, peers over his glasses, and tells him, "Young man, you will conquer this spider. Go back, and when you see the spider, conquer the spider." And months would go by, and he would kept coming and coming. Eventually, he came to the Zen master and says, I can't do this anymore. I need something that will help me fend off this spider so I can find my place of peace." So the Zen master looks at a box and gives him a big piece of chalk. Zen disciple looks at it and says, "What's this for?" He says, "When that spider comes upon you and attacks you and you wrestle with the spider, I want you to grab this chalk, turn it on its back, and mark its belly with a big X, and you will conquer the spider." The student says, "Okay." Because he's willing to do anything now to overcome the spider. And eventually, he wrestles with the spider. He sees the spider, and he's wrestling with the spider. He finally gets it on its back, and he marks its belly with a big white X. Comes out of the meditation, feeling jubilant, and runs down the hall, through the court, to his Zen, to one of the head Zen masters, who gave him the chalk. And he says, "Zen master, I finally did it. I wrestled with him, and I wrestled with him. I was able to flip the spider on his back and mark its belly with a huge white X." At that moment, the Zen hall master stood up, grabbed his robe in the front, and yanked it up so he could see. And what he discovered was that he was the spider. The moral of that koan is we are always wrestling with our own doubts, fears, and illusions. And through consistent practice of meditation, we eventually conquer these old parts of ourselves. We override them with the truth of who we are. And we begin to build a better foundation, a stronger foundation that has no doubts, no illusions, no fear, no anger, no feeling of having no value. So we learn all these things moment to moment. Sometimes you don't get any information in your meditation like that, silently. So the ultimate is the silent meditation. The ultimate of that is to be able to get into that zone where you're absolutely quiet. There are all kind of keys and guardians that activate that space in yourself so that you can do that. Now, as my friend Johanna said here, sometimes music helps. When she's in meditation, music can help her quiet her mind. It's always important, if you use music, to understand that one of the main things that you're going to use music for is to mask out other sound in the room around you. That's one reason it's being used. And if you pick the right one, let's say you pick something that Reiki people might use, or Tai Chi Qigong masters or teachers or students might use while they're practicing their craft. It will help because you're paying attention to the sound. You get past the sound of flutes and violins and drums, and you just feel the inner rhythm between those notes and sounds. And because you're on the frequency of the inner rhythm, that can carry you in to a sea of peace for yourself while you're meditating. Sometimes the music, though, is utilized to help you maintain a certain level of awakeness so you don't drift off. I had to use sound many years ago when I was living in New Jersey, a long time ago. When I was traveling, before I started living there, I didn't live there until 2005, but in 1997 I started traveling back and forth on Fridays to do guided meditations, because that's what the owner of the store wanted, and he found out that more people were wanting that. They wanted to receive a message of some sort or answer to their question. And I was a person that came, and I would give them a short guided meditation, and I would go around the room and give information that I would receive from my ancestors for them, or I might receive from their ancestors in the light for them. And so I had to use meditation because the front room of the store where we meditated at, that room could seat up to 70 people tight, 50 people relaxed. However, because it was toward the front of the store, it protruded out more toward the front. There was a main roadway there, so you would hear buses going by, motorcycles going by, cars, traffic, people going to work and coming home from work. So I had to use music to help mask out that extra sound and mask out the sound beyond the doors going into the store. So I used the meditation like that. There are other things that can be utilized. You can work with crystals around you. Quartz stones are very good. Shamanic magnetic stones, lodestones, things of that nature to help gather sources of energy. Pyrite. I love to use selenite a lot. Selenite with black tourmaline to help ground and build up the energy. There's so many things that you could do. But you are the main conduit, the main avenue for the energy to flow back and forth. So when you're utilizing meditation, your quest is to get to that part of yourself, the inner essence, the inner core of your being, which is infinite, to hear the impressions that come through from your higher self, which is connected to the divine, the greatest, most infinite, divine resource that some call God, some call Buddha, some call Krishna, Muhammad, you name it, Confucius, whatever, Kuan Yin, but whatever you are connected to, you can reach the plateaus, the infinite plateaus, levels, through a quiet meditation. But there's nothing wrong using guided meditation. It's designed to open you up, to get you past analyzing and thinking. Now, you also don't have to use a guided meditation per se. You could sit out in nature, in your, like I said, in your backyard, your front yard, and just focus on cactus, beaver tail cactus plants, or flowers, or trees, or the little, jackrabbits you might see running through your backyard, squirrels. But you're going to focus, open up your heart and your mind to be more consciously aware. And that whole environment can become a complete saturation of the visual part of your meditation that allows you to get past just their physical appearance eventually, and you just begin to see the energy around it, just like you give off energy. So often, again, the power of meditation is allowing yourself to find your true self, to connect with your true self. Now, it's good to know that I always say that meditation has a mate, and that mate is prayer. Now, some people say, okay, I'm going into prayer, and I'm going to pray, I'm going to ask the divine consciousness for something. When prayer is just you simply being grateful and thankful of where you're at and how you're growing, and that you know that you get stronger. So then eventually, in that state where the mind is absolutely calm, through your prayer, and it only takes a few or one, depending on how much strength is in the vibration of your word and in your voice, that eventually you get to this point where you now can generate energy through the sound, through your prayer, and that prayer is the mate to meditation. Meditation is simply sitting there. It's not a sense of asking, it's just a sense of being aware and letting your remembrance kick in. And that way, when you let your awareness and remembrance kick in and you stay centered in yourself, then you can begin to feel and listen and hear all kinds of things. It allows you to get past, again, all your doubts, fears, anxieties, stresses, anger, if you have any of that, impatience, feeling like you're unfocused. It allows you to get quiet inside and then hear what you need to hear and receive. Maybe you don't hear anything, maybe you don't see anything, your eyes closed, but images will pop up. You know how you see a black and white photograph, and then you see what they call the negative, and so what was considered the color part in the picture, the white part in the negative is in reverse. The lighter part becomes the dark part, and the dark part area in the photograph became the light part. So you get like the polar opposite. And so the same can happen. You could see that right in here going across your forehead, radiating through your eyes, coming from your subconscious. Your subconscious picking up everything like a camera, like a tape recorder, and replaying it back. The body replays back messages too. If you ever had some kind of injury, some kind of illness that you overcame, the body records it and then replays it back, and you might see it in the meditation, you might feel it, you might have an experience. The power of meditation can go in so many different directions. I was on TikTok not long ago, and I was talking about people needed to recall different parts of their dream. And I said, if you can recall some part of it and you are familiar with how to use meditation, you can meditate on that particular scene and then cause the scene to open up and show you other things that you may have missed the first time in trying to analyze and write down the dream. So you can begin to meditate on the different parts of your dream and eventually release the information that you're supposed to get so you can properly interpret the symbols in your dream. So there's so many ways that you could use meditation. Keep in mind, it is a tool for your personal transformation. And beyond yourself, you have so many extensions, so many other tools that you can utilize. Sometimes you can utilize affirmations. Affirmations are ways to mentally build an image in your mind about yourself that's very positive. You can use prayer, where you're praying for the total resolution of a situation, or you're praying for your greater understanding of a situation in your life. Hey there, Jessica. So you allow yourself through meditation to do those things. So you got affirmations you could put together for yourself. You could use prayers. There's many other things. You can use affirmative prayers. You can use intentions. You could use your meditations and also decrees. And I've been working on something like a book of some sort for some time, so hopefully it'll get out soon. But there's so many ways in which you can become empowered if you allow yourself to utilize meditation every day. If you can do it every day, you enhance your personal life and your connection to everything around yourself. That's one of the coolest things about meditation, is you find your connection to your true self that dwells inside of you, called your higher self. Then that higher self is an aspect of the divine source, infinite source. So, yes, hello and blessings to everybody. So, I'm going to sign off. But before I sign off, let me share a brief meditation with all of you. Now, I like to incorporate guided meditations, but I'm not going to actually do a real guided meditation here. What I'm going to do is to get you to focus on something that you love to do. Think of one thing that you love to do. That one thing, though, has to be something that enhances who you are, that brings greater joy into your life every time you think about that particular thing that you enjoy doing. Take a deep breath in through the nose and gently out of the mouth. Again, through the nose and gently out of your mouth. Do that 2 more times. Now, without pausing in between, just want you to inhale and exhale through your nose. Place the tongue to the roof of your mouth, just behind the 2 front teeth, where the ridge behind there goes up a little bit, right there, just as the curving point. That point is even with our emotional freedom technique point, which is right here. But it also connects the upper channel going into the lower channel through the center of your body. Relax, inhale, and as you exhale, feel the joy, feel the excitement of that one thing that you like to do. Let that one thing in your mind begin to flow through your entire body. Feel the tingling sensation around your face, your head, around your eyes, your ears, into your neck and shoulders, chest, upper back all the way down the torso and arms, into your hands, into your waist, your hips, pelvis, throughout both legs, down into the soles of your feet. Just feel the beauty of joy and harmony, of that one thought, about that one thing that brings you happiness, that you enjoy doing. Turn that into a complete meditation for yourself. And I will be back next Thursday. There will not be any Swanda with Michelle tomorrow, I don't think. But you could come by at 12. I think she'll be on the road traveling. If not, tomorrow she will be on next Friday. Usually on Mondays we have Audrey Wilson with Whispering Truths from the UK, talking about the different points of mediumship. So I'm not sure if she will be on. Usually here in the Southwest in New Mexico, she would be about 9 a.m. our time. But then you have next Tuesday, you have Donna of Dominion Tarot, who comes on at 12 p.m. on Tuesdays. So that is the schedule. I will be back though next Thursday. Those of you who were in attendance of my weekly Saturday morning meditation, the center is closed all the way through Monday, from tomorrow through Monday, so I won't be there this Saturday. But I have a brand new series of meditations under the heading of Creative Pathwork Meditation Series, and there's 5 different kinds of energy meditations that we're going to experience. And we won't do this in 5 Saturdays. We'll do this in about 8 to 10, so that you can get the full effect. But keep in touch. If you have any questions, send your questions by direct message here on Facebook Messenger, and I will answer them for you. Anyway, may you have a pleasant tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. See you next week. Be safe. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your family. Be loved and be loved. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing. As we're alive and well in the age of remembrance, my grace is your grace. Be well. See you next Thursday. Enjoy your life.